You are now listening to Handsome Reads. Hey, what's up, everybody? As has now become our custom, I'm here to give you yet another reminder. How serious you take yourself is directly proportional to how serious others will take you. So the last thing that you should be taking yourself for is a joke. Your energy is everything. Yeah? We clear on that? Good. Now, tell me something. Have you been probably wondering where is our fallen angel on a mission in all of this? Mr. Henri Donoma, you guys remember him? Well, look, listen no further. For today's episode shifts to him and his ongoing search for more deadly sins. Before I move on, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll be seeing some of you looking, viewing, listening, but forgetting to hit subscribe. We won't move forward and grow bigger as a community unless you guys help me. Today's episode, titled A Worthy Gift, is set in Marseille, France. Anything? Henri asked, looking up from the coffee table, neatly folding the newspaper he had just finished reading as his scribe stood before him. As far as scribes went, 𝐄𝐎𝐒 was oversized, rugged, and built for combat. Yet, behind that appearance was an intelligent young man who found it easy to get others to open up to him. A valuable asset. Nothing, sire, 𝐄𝐿𝐒 replied, visibly annoyed at his inability to return with good news. Worry not. He or she has remained hidden this long for a reason. Someone may be helping, Henri advised. There is a pulse of sin on this continent, he continued. Our quarry is here somewhere. What is your wish, sire? 𝐿𝐿𝐒 asked. Immediately? For you to eat and get some sleep, Mr. Donoma replied. I am able to continue an additional 24 if necessary. It is not. The time will come soon enough for that, the older immortal promised. Yes, it will, Henri thought to himself, having already vowed to be better prepared for the next angelic intrusion. Breakfast will be here soon, so go wash the stink of the streets from your pores. The hefty Russian left the room on soundless feet as Henri closed the laptop before steepling his fingers in contemplation. First order of business. Returning this mortal to her hotel room. A name tag bearing Marcia Downs, financial consultant, was pinned to the neatly folded mass of her charcoal blazer, now held in Henri's hand. Reaching down to where she still slept, face flushed from the pleasure-induced coma he had put her under, Henri cradled her curvaceous frame against his chest. The concept of shame was such a mortal construct, he mused. Walking with even strides down the hallway of the hotel, barely sparing a glance at the open stares from the maids and other hotel staff as he passed by. Long night. Too much to drink, he greeted one of the maids in French, a mature woman in her mid-50s. Smiling knowingly, the older woman slipped him 2 packs of headache tablets before patting him on the arm and returning to her duties. The door to Monsieur's room presented no challenge, the lock turning to green even without the presence of her keycard. Laying her on the soft sheets, her bed slightly smaller than his, he reached for the phone at her bedside table. Front desk, good morning. Antoine speaking, greeted the concierge. Good morning. Calling from room 202. Fingers tapped keys before Antoine's response. Oui, Mademoiselle Downs. How can I help? I would like to have breakfast sent up to my room in exactly 1 hour, please. Not a problem, mademoiselle. Any special requests? No, thank you. That is all. Do let your member of staff know to enter and leave the tray if I do not come to the door. As you wish, mademoiselle, Antoine replied cheerfully. Merci, Henri replied, replacing the phone into its cradle before lifting his fingers off of the woman's throat. Clearing his own, he hummed softly as his vocal cords resumed their original shape. Stroking the side of her face, he gently removed the spectacles she had fallen asleep wearing. Most of her makeup had remained in the tin, her face bearing only the slightest touch of foundation. Her eyes were long-lashed like the closed curtains of a Broadway play, fluttering gently behind the scenes. She was exquisite in her mortality, from the fragile structure of her bones to the brief spark that signified the entirety of her life. Hers was such a brief span of time, less than a century, yet burning brightly enough to hold the interest of an immortal like Henri. It made him question if he would have made the same decisions had he lived as briefly as mortals did, immortality being nothing more than some foreign concept. Pushing to his feet, he withdrew the presence of his essence from her mind, a burnt orange wisp that curled out from her ear. Implanting memories of the economics convention she had flown to France to attend, Henri added a revolutionary concept that would set her apart from her counterparts. A worthy parting gift, he mused in full agreement with himself, leaving her laptop near her feet, its memory as clean as her own. Henri made his way out to the patio overlooking Marseille and its treasures as the aroma of breakfast greeted his nostrils. A freshly showered 𝐵𝐔𝐾𝐒 sat in a corner of the space, chair positioned strategically to give him a clear view of the doorway as well as possible threats from neighboring patios. At present, the only threat was that of the naked woman sunbathing in a long wicker chair next door. The umbrella provided by the hotel's policy currently folded, neglected neatly in a corner. No threat at all. The younger man made no attempt to attract her attention, eating what was now his second serving of croissants, tartine and sliced fruit, mug of coffee untouched. He only paused his intake of food to look up alertly as Henri entered the outdoor area. Sharing a nod of acknowledgement, 𝐵𝐵𝐶𝐾𝐒 returned to his meal as Henri sat, smiling inwardly as their temporary neighbor lay her book on the flat of her stomach, openly curious about the pair sharing a meal next door. Henri started with fruit, 2 slices of cantaloupe and 1 of pineapple. Carefully balanced on elegant fingers, he savored the tart finish of the slightly young pineapple beneath his tongue. Coming into the vicinity of the lower gates had not only done wonders for his skin and general levels of energy, he could have lingered there. The temptation was no doubt strong, yet he was nothing if not an immortal of his word. The mission had not changed. The food on earth was nothing compared to the fruit he and his peers had once shared when the garden had still stood, but it would suffice. When was the last time you were with a woman? Henri asked, breaking the accepted silence. 𝐓𝐿𝐹𝐾 paused, grey eyes wearing a slightly shocked expression. Well? Henri prompted. Not since we met, the big Russian replied, after clearing his throat. Next door, the woman rose from her chair to slide back into an oversized bathrobe. She returned to the confines of her hotel room without sparing a glance at them. I see, Henri murmured. Come now, finish your breakfast. The remainder of the morning meal passed in silence, the two men inhabiting their respective mental worlds. As the hotel staff made their exit with trays of dirty dishes, Henri reappeared from his suite, dressed casually in a deep blue cardigan, tucked into slim tapered pants that were khaki in color. He called out to 𝐓𝐿𝐹𝐾 through the doorway of their adjoining room. Sire, the young man answered, appearing from the patio area instead, the thin material of his V-necked t-shirt clinging for dear life to the spans of his arms and beefy chest. Come, let us stretch our legs. One moment, sire. I must change. No, that won't be necessary, Henri called over his shoulder, walking towards the hotel door and freezing 𝐓𝐿𝐹𝐾's march to his walk-in closet. 𝐓𝐿𝐹𝐾 closed the door behind him to find the other man standing before the hotel door of the room next to their own. Sire? No. You did say you could go another 24 hours, did you not? For your protection, sire, not to be wasted in seeking out pleasures of the flesh. You didn't, Henri replied. I instead have sought it out for you, lightly rapping his knuckles against the wine-red door. The door opened to reveal the woman, now clad in cut jeans that stopped just above mid-thigh, upper body clad in a white, almost see-through vest. Oui? She greeted in French, open speculation mixed with something hotter in her gaze. Gently, please, Henri responded in French, shifting to allow 𝐓𝐿𝐹𝐾 access. And you? She asked, a warm blush stealing up her freshly tanned cheeks. Sherry, you would die if I joined, he murmured, patting her hand softly. Reaching behind the door, Henri fitted the Do Not Disturb sign to now face outward. The image of the woman's arm entwined with 𝐓𝐿𝐹𝐾's, the last image he saw. Her petite frame dwarfed by the man she walked next to. Henri smiled as he heard the lock snag into place. Walking back to his own room, the door swung closed at his mental command. End of episode. I do hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for stopping by. And as always, love and light.